All right, cool. So I believe if you guys remember from last time, I believe you are face to face with a Tzenkethi battleship, as well as the doctors having a fun time in sick bay with a elderly Vulcan who was shot by a particle weapon, if I am not mistaken.
Sounds right.
Cool. So I was gonna start with die on the Tzenkethi ship. They are not here, so we will jump to sick bay.
All right.
Let me go ahead and move over. Got to delete some people. There's a lot of random people in there. Cool. All right, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, you already did a scan to determine what is wrong.
Well, now I had scanned him when I first met him because he was really ancient and the medical technology he'd been living with was not so great. And then when I found him after the Tzenkethi raid, I, did a first aid because he had a lethal injury, and then we immediately beamed up here.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to give you a test to figure out the extent of his injuries. It sounds like.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do a reason medicine difficulty 1.
Okay. Emergency medicine or xenobiology?
Either of those.
Okay. I'm just going to roll it plain. Oof. Well, and so we begin.
Does the ship help?
Yeah, I'm in sick bay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll a what is this? What is this? Probably a computer's.
Usually, I think most tasks are like computers medicine or sensors medicine. So you said computers medicine?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 2 momentum, which I'll spend to negate the complication.
Cool. So really, he just has a particle weapon puncture wound in his chest, and the burns and scarring from that. He also has a punctured left lung.
All right, well, let's get this man into surgery.
We're going to give you an extended test.
All right.
Difficulty 3, controlled medicine, magnitude 3, work 15, resistance.
Okay, I'd like to use the sick bay advantage or medical team advantage to lower the resistance. I'd like to activate where is she? Dr. Claire McKenzie as a surgical assistant.
Okay.
If somebody wants to grab her. So, okay, difficulty 2, magnitude 3, work 15. Not terrible bad. Okay, I tell you what, I will give you 3 threat to roll 4 dice. And then I will invoke my Starfleet citation for conspicuous gallantry. Basically, since I gave you 3 threat, I roll 3 challenge dice, and for each effect, you don't get to keep that threat.
Cool.
Huh? You get 2.
Okay.
Try to
And I'm going to use the other 2 that you gave me to increase complication range to 2.
Okay.
He is starting to bleed out from an previously undiscovered puncture wound in one of his arteries.
All right. Let's use up. All right. Let's get a Sterifield going and I'll activate a force field clamp on the bleeding and then get in there with a protoplaser to try and regenerate the artery walls. Wow.
What's the
And
roll?
then it's a difficulty 3, and then the NPC or the supporting doctor is assisting, and the ship.
It should be control medicine, FYI.
Oh, sorry. Is that going to be
Should I roll for Dr. McKenzie?
same numbers?
Control medicine?
Same numbers, cool.
You can go ahead and roll, so it's fine. I'll get the ship.
Right, so you have 2 successes, or 4 successes, so you got 2 momentum coming, and a complication.
Okay, so let's. Difficulty was 3, so we've only got.
Difficulty was 2.
Oh, you're right. So okay, we'll spend the 2 momentum to eliminate the complication, which I seem determined to roll. And then what? 7 challenge dice.
Yep.
Okay, 2, 3, 4.
So that's 7. So that is a breakthrough.
All right, and with Surgery Savant, I get the triumphant effect, which is
It's another breakthrough.
yeah. So that's 2 breakthroughs.
All right. So we have 8 work left, 1 magnitude left, so a difficulty 0.
All right, so we've sealed it. We've caught that bleeder and turned that up. Now we're regenerating the nerves and the tissue of the lung after draining it of fluid that it collected and reinflating it. So difficulty 0. I'm just going to go ahead and roll that flat. There's 2. So 3 Jomentum.
All right.
I'm going to spend one of those to re-roll 3 challenge dice.
All right, and that is the 3rd break.
Yep.
And technically 4th breakthrough.
Complete the work track though. We were at what, 6?
7.
I'm just curious if there would be a 5th or not. If we hit 15.
Yeah.
So you needed 8, and you got it. So yeah, there would have.
So overkill, Doctor. Overkill.
Well, I went ahead and regenerated some. I noticed while I was in there that the muscle wall of his left ventricle was a little weak from sheer age. So I went ahead and, while I had him opened, regenerated part of that muscle tissue as well. I have a message.
And with that, we'll head to the bridge with DeGrasse is on the planet, right?
Correct, and so is
correct.
Casey.
And
And
Doctor's in.
Yep.
I believe you had just gotten off of the communications with the.
Yeah, he came out with a demand. Evacuate the colony or he'll kill his hostages.
And just so I get the time right, he gave you 36 hours?
Something like that.
All right, cool. Yeah, you're up. Or your roleplay part.
Open hailing frequencies to the away team.
Frequencies open, Captain.
Commander, it's our Monarch to away team.
Captain. What do you need?
What's your situation down there?
Well, actually, at this point, you know, the administration was attacked and things like that, right? That's where we left it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just waiting on further orders, Captain. Well, you know the situation, and we're trying to get some more intel, as I'm sure you are as well.
Give me 1 second here. Commander, under Starfleet Regulation 46A, it's going to be. We've been given a ultimatum to evacuate the colony. We're given 36 hours to evacuate the 1,000 colonists. However, estimates up here would suggest that it would take twice as long to do that. Hint, hint, about the out of character real quick. For a reminder, Regulation 46A is if a transmission were being... Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Wrath of Khan, baby.
What's your estimate, Commander, that the colony could be evacuated safely?
Captain, there's a lot of people and a lot of material. We've got a lot of sick. We've got a lot of wounded. And it could be 6 days.
Understood. I will try to buy you enough time as possible, but get preparations underway to potentially evac the colony.
Understood, Captain. We'll do what we can.
Monarch out.
So, out of character, is there any rule as to how long it would take to evacuate that many colonists?
Essentially, you kind of like double your estimate there because we were doing the coded, so you kind of said, oh, it'd take only 6 hours to do it, but for reality, but
yeah.
to them, the Tzenkethi, they go, oh, it's going to take 6 days if they're monitoring.
No, yeah, and that's what I was going for. I honestly just didn't know if 6 hours was a reasonable estimate.
It's 1,000 colonists.
People, but yeah, I mean, I'm assuming if we're just emergency evacuating, we could probably maybe do that. Anyway, beside the point.
GM, yeah. Ops, open a channel to the Tzenkethi vessel.
General open.
This is the USS Monarch to Tzenkethi vessel. Please respond.
You are wasting time, Captain. I expect the evacuation to begin in...
There's quite a lot of sick and injured down on the surface. I forget what his name was. Did not write it down.
I believe it was a she.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Does that look familiar?
It's Hellman. Yeah, I think so.
Because that's what Grannon gave me.
That's right.
The next part's the rank and the other nomenclature.
Hellman, from estimates that my first officer just gave me, it would take 6 days to safely evacuate the colony. You're going to have to give me more time. And while those preparations are underway, I'm sure we could smooth and talk things over with.
We have scanned your vessel's capability and have determined that you would be able to evacuate the entire colony within 30 hours.
Under normal emergency procedures, that would be probably more accurate, but there's a lot of wounded down the surface. They need to be patched up before they can be safely transported.
We have given you all the time that we will require. The threat to our sovereign space must be eliminated.
And could you please elaborate on this threat? This is a simple colony, nothing more. I'm sure you've made several scans on the surface and probably found little to no evidence of a monitoring station on the surface.
The proximity to our space is threat enough.
Well, give me some time. I would prefer if you can give me a little extra time, but I understand. I do need to discuss this with the colony leader who was severely injured in your unprovoked attack on the colony.
You have 36 hours to evacuate the colony. Any further time will be seen as an act of aggression against the... What's her name?
Tzenkethi.
Tzenkethi Coalition.
Aren't you the aggressors here? You attacked a helpless colony outside of your space. And if I recall, this space is not even claimed by the Federation. It is an independent colony. We are merely here to offer aid.
This is a Federation colony that has violated the treaties set forth between your government and the Tzenkethi. It will not be allowed to stand.
Real quick, that was secured in 2350 something, is that right? The treaty?
Sure.
Like there was a Tzenkethi war. I'm gonna look up something because I have an idea. Oh, 2360s. I ended 2364. So a lot sooner than that. According to novels, so.
There you go.
Helen, the treaty was signed in 2364, stating the boundary lines. However, this colony was established in 2257. Under sub-article section 13, paragraph D, all colonies established prior to the war and the treaty signed which shall remain sovereign in nature.
We have no record of this colony's existence.
As I said, there was a temporal incident. The colony was founded in 2257. If you would like, I'd be more than happy to transmit the appropriate data over to you for your evaluation. And then perhaps maybe we can sit down and discuss this like two civil beings before this escalates any further.
Prax, give me a presence command roll. Deception for a focus.
I'm not really being deceptive here.
I know, but it fits the narrative.
Okay. I mean, I have persuasion and deception, so what's my difficulty?
Yeah. Give it a 3.
Take a threat. Because I have bold command. Just nailed it.
And the communications cut out.
Sick bay to Captain.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Captain, I'm pleased to report that Leader Vamev, I was able to completely repair his injuries, and he will make a full recovery. In fact, he can be revived and should be fully cognizant within the next few minutes. However, unfortunately, further scans during the procedure reveal that he is showing very early signs of Bendai syndrome. It affects older Vulcans, although he is actually quite young to be showing signs, though there have been very rare cases of early onset Bandai syndrome. It attacks the parts of a Vulcan's brain that is responsible for allowing them to control their emotions, and can, in its later stages, lead to outbursts of irrational anger. As of yet, there's no cure, although there is some palliative care, and extensive mind melds can help fight the disease. And I believe with our more modern medical technology and our ability to do some basic neural regeneration, we may be able to at least delay the disease's full onset. But physically, he's going to be fine.
Doctor, out of curiosity, there was if I'm not mistaken, the reactor on the surface that was emitting chronoton radiation. They've been operating that reactor for quite a long time using these so-called crystals that function similar to dilithium. Do you think that reactor's byproduct from the radiation leak that they were having on the surface could be essentially causing the early onset?
GM?
Stand by.
That's not something I'd considered, Captain. Let me see if I can't do some quick and dirty research. I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to study the effects of long-term exposure to low levels of chronoton radiation. And while it may be a theoretical possibility, there's no literature or data on the subject. And from what we do know about Bandai syndrome, it appears to be hereditary.
Understood. Will he be able to talk within the coming hour?
Yes, Captain. As soon as he wakes up, he'll be fully cognizant. And as I said, he's in the very early stages of Bandai syndrome. he probably is not even symptomatic yet, although I will say that he was much more emotional than most Vulcans. However, he has been surrounded by humans on a humans and other emotive species on a remote colony for 130 years. So I kind of chalked it up to that.
Thank you, Doctor, and let me know when he's awake.
Will do. Sick bay out.
Monarch to away team.
DeGrasse here. What's the news, Captain?
Commander, unfortunately, I can't give you any more time, but I might have delayed them or potentially found a loophole here. But still work on efforts. Double your efforts to work on getting the colony evacuated. Good luck, Commander.
Thank you, Captain. We'll do what we can. And just real quick, did some quick calculations. I don't know if is there anything in the rules as to how long a transporter cycle takes?
I've been trying to
10
find that
seconds.
myself.
Okay, so if we have 1,000 people, and transporter pad is 6 or 8?
6.
That's what I thought. So 1,000 divided by 6 is 166. So even just in minutes, if it's a minute per cycle, that would be approximately 3 hours or so to evacuate 1,000 people. So wouldn't be too bad. But sorry, I was just nerding out for a sec.
Commander Mora, see to it that the emergency designated areas for emergency evacuations are prepped and ready to go.
Yes, sir. Out of curiosity, what is the crew capacity of a sovereign class?
Its emergency capacity is like 9,000.
Oh, okay. All right, sir. Yes, sir. I'll get that taken care of.
I looked it up today before we started playing.
See, Captain Prax comes prepared.
That's all I have on the bridge, so I'm waiting for certain individuals to wake up before I start the evac.
All right. Was there anything you guys wanted to do on the planet?
So yeah, in the absence of Leader Vimev, I mean, I'm assuming in the administration building, there's other administrative personnel.
Yeah. There's probably some representatives from the various communities.
Okay. So while Aurora's executing captain's orders, DeGrasse is going to, go to those people and starts planning the evac, asking, how much time it would take, kind of gathering information from these people to try to start the preparation. And yeah, that's all DeGrasse is going to be doing.
I'm gonna make sure any quarters are available. Make sure the life support is kicked in a little bit stronger to make sure it can handle the extra lungs and get everything taken care of for them to start boarding. I'm also gonna have my crew run a diagnostic on the transporters just to make sure they don't break down.
All right. So I'm going to give you guys a couple extended tasks here. DeGrasse, since you have to go around talking to a lot of different people trying to get things organized, let's go ahead and give you a reason or a presence command extended task. We'll make it a difficulty 2, magnitude 2, work 8.
Okay.
And then Morora, for your task, it's probably going to be a. Let me look at your sheet really quick. Ooh, let's go fitness.
Oh man.
And then we'll make yours difficulty 2, magnitude 3, work 10.
Now with my prehensile tail, I get a bonus d20 to fitness traits. Oh, that's for balance or climbing. Does that come in?
For balance and climbing.
Fitness,
This
not balancing.
I figured this is more of a you're running around the ship trying to get everything set up.
Okay.
So more of a endurance type. All right, Mara, roll 7 challenge dice.
You have to hit enter.
There it goes.
Yeah, I thought I did.
All right, that's 7, so that is a breakthrough for you. So your next task will be difficulty 1, and you have 3 work remaining.
Should I keep going or do we want to have DeGrasse do one of his?
We can finish yours up and then have DeGrasse do.
Ah.
Oh yeah, was it engineering?
Yeah.
He has miracle worker. So been 2 breakthroughs because of the effect.
Aha.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess that would be difficulty 0, so you got it.
Cool.
Everybody on the ship's built for extended tasks.
Apparently. Oh, we have a story from the Tereshkova on Thursday about extended. It was basically borderline cheating, we all thought.
Am I rolling another 7 or what is it rolling?
Yes, yep. All right, that'll do it. Then we just need DeGrasse's, which is the difficulty 2, magnitude 2, work. Presence
Cool.
command.
Okay, cool. I'm assuming persuasion works as a focus.
Yeah. Because you figure there's
Cool.
going to be some people saying that, we've been here for 100 years, we're not leaving. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm not Vimev, so I'll probably have to do some convincing. Cool. So
You
I'll
have 2
take a momentum.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a momentum and let's see what happens. Oh. Not good.
I'm going to spend 2 threat on that roll. because you failed, and I'm gonna make it a resistance from here on out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take a momentum and give you 2 threat. Get 4 die. All right.
All right, 2 momentum.
And so what does the resistance do?
So it reduces the amount of work by 1, essentially.
You spent the 2 threats. Actually, it adds 2 resistance.
What?
I think it adds 2, if I'm not mistaken.
I just did 1 permanently.
Oh, okay.
You should actually only be rolling 5 dice, however.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
Because yeah, it's 2 plus whatever your discipline score is.
Gotcha. That's right.
So right now you would be doing 4 work.
Okay.
Spend 1 momentum for extra work, and this should get you a breakthrough.
Let's do that.
So it's you have 1 magnitude left. Difficulty 1. Work is.
Okay. You said difficulty 1, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I'll throw a momentum to take a 3rd die. Oh my gosh.
And I'm gonna spend 2 threat, increase your complication range.
Okay. So the grass is definitely built to plumb the mysteries of nature instead of convincing people to do things. You know what? Take 3 threat. I'll roll 4 die.
I love you replenishing mine.
Oh my gosh.
Quit rolling like me.
You know, I think it's just going to be me this time, guys.
5 dice, please. All right, so you achieved the task and you set everyone to work doing the colony. Let me double check.
Does somebody now want to assassinate me due to the complications?
Okay, so Marora was able to get the ship and its capacity is pretty much geared up, within an hour, 2 tops. Getting everyone organized on the planet, however, took a full 14 hours. And we will now go to scene 2. And mind you, this was just getting everyone starting to pack up.
Gotcha.
Okay, Mavev should be waking up this scene. And the doctor will be at his bedside when he does.
So if nothing else, we'll go to sickbay. And as you predicted, Doctor, Vamev, is that what the name was?
Yep.
Starts waking up slowly, a few hours after what you expected, but he did eventually wake up.
Okay. Leader Vermev, good to have you back with us.
I trusted my injuries were not as severe.
You were very lucky, and fortunately the Monarch was in orbit and we were able to get you immediately into surgery, but you should make a full recovery from your injury suffered on the planet below. However, I do have some bad news, I'm afraid.
Proceed, Doctor.
My scans indicate that you are in the very early stages of Bendai syndrome.
Bendai syndrome. How is that possible?
I don't know. You are very young to be showing any signs whatsoever. The captain theorized that perhaps it was long-term exposure to the chronoton radiation from the crystals you were using to power your reactors on the planet below. But I don't know. As far as I'm aware, the condition tends to be hereditary. It may be you may be an early onset case, or it may be lack of modern medical technology. I believe we can at least delay its further onset with neural regeneration treatments and other temporary measures. But it to this point, the Federation has no cure for Bandai syndrome.
Thank you, Doctor, but this is a personal matter that I will have to deal with my family.
Understood. Just know that the medical facilities here aboard the Monarch are available to you to do whatever we can do. And of course, just in general, I do recommend you take advantage of our facilities here with modern medical technologies and knowledge. As I said, on the planet below, a lot of the normal aches and pains you're experiencing, we can definitely alleviate. And but if you are feeling up to it, my captain would like a word with you. There are some larger events transpiring that I'm afraid you're going to have to turn your attention to.
You are referring to the attack on the compound.
And the Tzenkethi battleship in orbit. But best I let the captain explain that to you. Politics and interstellar diplomacy are hardly my department. Do you feel strong enough to speak with the captain?
I believe my well-being for the moment is irrelevant, Doctor. Please take me to your.
Honestly, I would prefer if the captain came to you. You've just undergone some fairly major surgery. Blackwell to captain.
Go ahead, Doctor.
Leader Vermev is awake and cognizant. Also, his vital signs are stable. I would prefer that if you interview him here in sick bay rather than have him come to you, however.
Understood, Doctor. I am on my way.
Sick bay out.
All right. Was there anything else needed to be done before Captain's heads to sick bay?
I'm going to go ahead and start basic regenerative treatments that he hasn't had available to him on Vermev. Nothing that won't keep him from talking to the captain or anything, but I'm sure while he's lying in ICU, we can do some of that.
Cool. I don't think that would be a roll or anything. It's pretty basic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Engineering, planet, bridge.
I'm just going to oversee the evacuation, make sure everything goes as planned.
I don't think we started that yet, so because before we start that, I want to talk with the Tzenkethi one last time because they did
Yeah,
kind of.
essentially all that you guys did was you prepped the ship and its facilities. You know, the rooms, the supplies, the rations, and then all DeGrasse did on the planet was persuade all the regional leaders to get their regions to start packing up.
Right, well, since I foresee a potential fight imminent, I will also go around and make sure, just run some basic diagnostics to make sure the systems are up and running and we're at peak optimum standard to do what needs to be done.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess the captain arrives in sickbay.
Captain, it's huge.
Nurse, am I able to enter the ICU?
Uh, yes, Captain. The doctor is expecting.
Thank you.
Captain. Let me introduce colony leader Vamev. Leader Vamev, Captain Azrael Prax.
Pleasure to meet you, Timev.
Captain, a pleasure.
So I am in a difficult situation. Since your colony lies awfully close to Tzenkethi space, under a treaty that was signed roughly 12 years ago, or 13 years ago, sorry. Yeah. No Federation colony shall exist within 5 light years of Tzenkethi space. Unfortunately, your colony exists within that 5 light year distance. However, there is a potential loophole in the situation that I am attempting to remedy. However, your colony may be forced to be evacuated, which there's more than enough room here on this ship, and I will endeavor to find a suitable home for you and your people. But I want to make that aware that this indeed might happen. But I do have one question for you. These crystals that are on the surface, could you give me a bit more insight on them?
GM has no idea about crystals. I will say that now.
Fun. Okay.
This is the problem of trying to finish someone else's deal. I have no idea about the crystals.
Well, long story short, according to what we know, they're like a dilithium replacement?
Sort of, but they have temporal qualities to them or something like that.
Gotcha.
Like, to be completely honest, I'm not even sure how the time thing happened.
I'm still trying to figure that out, wrap my head around
Okay,
that.
so what it is on the planet, they discovered this yellow crystal that has, that's pretty inert in nature and on, but bathed in a particle bath, it acts like dilithium, so you can use it in place of, but it also gives off a chronoton radiation. the colonists kind of learned to, in the early days, they had some problems with containment, which could cause temporal, massive out releases of chronoton radiation and temporal rifts and blah, blah, blah. But they quickly learned how to contain it and to operate with it. The time travel happened when Jacoby and company found the colony, discovered these crystals in the dilithium chambers, tried to get it working, but unaware of needing the extra containment, things went off, and that's what threw him back in time, according to my notes.
The colony was originally dead or something like that.
Yeah, they all died out, and then so the Hadfield discovered the dead colony, and they went in to try and crank back up the reactors for whatever reason, and then there was a massive chronoton surge, and they were sent back to 2257.
So long story short, their fuel source.
Yes, but not particularly a safe one.
Because it could cause time travel.
Yeah.
Or
Still,
otherwise, other
be
different.
impressed with my notes.
Thank you, Pamev. How do you think your people are going to react long term, being away from this colony?
This has been our home for well over 100 years. Surely you can't just expect us to pick up and leave.
The other alternative would be that the Tzenkethi more than likely will destroy the colony, and I currently have 2 hostage crew members on board one of their ships during the raid, and their lives hang in the balance as well.
We would like nothing more than peaceful coexistence with these Tzenkethi, but it seems you have more information on their culture than I would, Captain.
Would you be opposed that you can coexist with the Tzenkethi if I'm able to negotiate a deal where a Federation embassy and a Tzenkethi embassy would be established on your colony? Merely for oversight reasons?
If that would allow us to remain on the planet, then that will be fine with me.
Very well. Thank you. And I will leave you to rest. Doctor?
I'll follow the captain out.
He was fairly competent in his for your evaluation, correct? During our conversation.
Yes, as I said, it's very, very early stages. He wouldn't be showing any particular symptoms at this point, and physically he's fine.
I just want to show that there's not a backlash in case I have to do a certain compromise.
Well, he's being constantly monitored, so, and I'll have a little. I've got a little sedative ready if necessary.
Thank you, Doctor, and let me know if there's anything else that arises.
Aye, Captain. And the doctor's going to go to one of the medical labs and start running some tests to see if there appears to be anything that might be causing the early onset, any vitamin or mineral deficiency, any, just whatever I can find on the blood and tissue samples I've gotten from him at this point, and scan deep scans.
Cool.
Prax heads back to the bridge to engage in a very more unsettling conversation. Ops, open the channel to the Tzenkethi vessel.
Channel open, Cap.
A Tzenkethi vessel, this is USS Monarch.
Go ahead, Captain.
Have you had time to look over the treaty?
We still do not believe your time travel hypothesis, Captain. But we will allow you to send over evidence of such.
Very well. Ensign Knight, please transmit the data.
Transmitting now, Captain.
Helna, I believe it would be in our both interests for both of our governments to maybe make this a neutral ground planet where both sides can come together to meet in peaceful negotiations. Since because of the awareness of this colony and due to the time travel evidence, do not wish to remove the colonist. It is their home. It's been their home for quite a long time. However, I have talked with one of the local government leaders that potentially establishing an embassy for both governments on the surface of the world to ensure peaceful negotiations and to ensure that both sides do not engage in espionage.
This planet still lies well outside typical Federation borders, Captain.
It does, but the colonists do want to remain.
We will require time to review this time evidence you have collected. We still feel that this is a trick set up by your intelligence communities to create a staging ground to attack.
I assure you there is no deception here. If you would permit, I am more than happy to beam over to your vessel to discuss this treaty.
We will receive you in 1 hour.
Very well.
And the transmission cut.
Lieutenant Commander Mora, how's your command
Yes.
experience?
I guess we'll find out.
As soon as I
But are you
depart the
sure-
ship,
Are you sure this is a good idea, Captain? I mean, if they have 2 prisoners, why do we want to give them a 3rd?
I am hoping to have one of them released here shortly, as soon as they signal again. They are going to go over the evidence first. I'm giving them time to digest what we sent over before I ask demands.
And are we still assuming at this point that the evacuation is on until we hear differently?
Yes, you would presume correctly. The colonists' lives are more important at the moment.
Then I guess I have the bridge.
Well, sooner they depart.
Of course.
Monarch to away team.
Away team here.
How goes the evacuation preparation, Commander?
It's a little rocky. To be honest, it's taken us more time than I expected to corral everyone and convince them to prepare to leave the planet. However, even with the time constraints, I think we can continue pressing forward.
Very well. Just so you're aware, I will be beaming over within 1 hour onto the Tzenkethi vessel to conduct negotiations.
Captain, are you sure? They've done nothing but show hostility to us. And a captain might be a better hostage than, well, frankly, the two that they already have.
I'm well aware of that, Commander.
Well, I know you are. Good luck, Captain.
Monarch out. And just before they signal for Prax to beam over, he does want to talk with them one more time.
With Tzenkethi?
Yes, with the Tzenkethi.
Right. Was there anything else anyone was wanting to do before we?
Talk the
Is there a way
captain
I
out of
could-
beaming over to the Tzenkethi ship?
Is there any way I can program a something to do with the captain's comm badge so we can keep constant transporter lock on her?
Viridian patch.
Then I would like to give the captain one of those.
That would be an advantage of some sort. Kind of up to say how what we had to use, what resources we had to pay for in that.
Yeah. Let me make a roll here. All right. I think. I can't make this easy, obviously. So I'm thinking it's going to be a difficulty 4, complication range of 2, using control and engineering. And success at this task will allow you to maintain a transporter lock even through unmodified shielding.
Could I use my determination to? I can't remember. Can I use determination to give me automatic 1?
Yes, but you have to match it against the value.
I do have a value that says every problem has a solution.
That is vague, but I think acceptable. Gotta love those broadband ones.
All right, and then yeah. Anyway, did you say the complication range was?
2. Yeah. Captain, you have been fitted with one of these devices.
It's just a patch that just literally they slap on. It's from Star Trek 6. Like Spock did it to Kirk and Bones before they or Kirk before they left.
I'll take your word. Remember, I've not seen any of the movies before before the first Next Generation one, and I have not seen the original series.
It's basically a small piece of Velcro.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's got a little radiation signature to it. That's about it.
Yeah.
But they were able to track it like light years away.
Right. So yeah, so you were able to successfully modify it for use against the Tzenkethi Advanced Shield.
Before she beams over, she wants to ask for essentially a trade, but.
Right. If there is nothing else, we could go ahead and give you the floor, Captain.
Tzenkethi vessel, I'm ready to beam over. However, I would like to propose that one of my officers beams over, and I take their place. Surely, actually, well, both the officers get returned to the Monarch. You'll have in case things go wrong, you have a very convincing hostage for Starfleet to try and rescue. Sure, a starship captain goes a long way.
We will transport back one of your officers. She has been most disagreeable.
Surely, the other individual is not a threat to you, and like his safety is of much concern. I believe he's been over there for quite a while, and he might need medical attention.
Let's do an opposed presence command roll.
Take a threat. Persuasion for a focus.
Yep.
I'm rolling.
I'll spend it for a third die.
Yeah, I'm just rolling 3. I see a complication there.
You do see a complication there. I'm trying to think of what I want the complication to be.
You could just buy it off with 2 threat.
Yeah, but it's more fun if I make complications.
When he transports, he accidentally transports them both.
I like that one.
Well, the role was to get them both to transport over, which definitely succeeded on. Oh, and you gain 2 momentum, by the way. For the interest of these negotiations, I recommend a change of venue. The administration building on the planet.
Agreed. I will meet you down there.
We will meet in 30 minutes.
I trust that my crew members are unharmed.
They will be returned to you once we have beamed down to the planet.
Understood. Thank you.
and they cut the transmission.
It's a rather interesting turn of events.
That's why complications are fun.
I was gonna say we could have been like alone, or no more than 2 additional personnel per group.
Yeah, that's pretty standard to bring 3.
Yeah. Monarch to DeGrasse.
DeGrasse here, Captain.
Commander, have yourself and Lieutenant Casey meet me in the administration building in 20 minutes.
Certainly, sir. Is there anything that I need to know before we show up?
We're meeting a Tzenkethi entourage.
Well, good work, Captain. Guess you didn't need any luck after all. We'll meet you there.
Monarch out. I almost made this like, I make my own luck. I don't need luck, I make my own. But that would be stealing from
Go
Star
for
Wars.
it, man. I say go for it.
Commander Moore, the bridge is yours.
Bridge is mine, Captain.
And Prax heads to the transporter room.
All right, 1 second. All right, so ready to beam down?
Yep.
Oh my god, there's a ship.
Be careful because I think the map is actually on the token layer.
Grennan's handy. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. All right. So you beam down to the planet's surface. You are met by Lieutenant Case. I believe he's on the surface.
Yep.
And you are probably also met by DeGrasse. And whoever the hell that officer is.
It's Nidon.
Ah, so it is. Did not recognize the picture.
Gentlemen.
Actually, no. I was going to say the only blonde on board. Captain?
The situation will be very delicate. Well, to prepare yourselves, because we could be taken hostage at a moment notice during these negotiations, but hopefully that won't come to it. Feeling like though, Dai and Mr. Durham is safe.
Captain? What will the Monarch do if we're all taken hostage?
Well, that'll be up to Mr. Mora to decide that. Hopefully it will
Understood.
not come to that. So far they've been willing to negotiate.
And if there is an altercation, should we give ourselves up to be hostages, or should we fight as hard as we can?
Under the circumstances here, I would like to not have any violent actions be taken. Keeping the peace is
Understood.
paramount.
Understood, Captain.
Shall we, gentlemen?
After you.
And I guess we'll wait inside the administration's office.
And waiting inside the administration's office is the
It's the top floor.
The vel of the Tzenkethi ship and a few of her behind them in shackles is Counselor Dai and the other person that was captured. And of course, they are all armed to the teeth. They are donned in their battle armor.
Do Dai and Dulmer look harmed at all?
No, there's no bruises, no tattered uniforms, nothing like that.
With your permission, Halnavel AA, I would like the two officers to beam back to the Monarch for medical treatment. Or well, a medical examination.
And she'll just give a simple nod to one of her soldiers, and he motions them with his gun to start walking toward. And they begin moving toward.
She kind of nods to the two of them. Monarch. Prax to Monarch.
Go ahead, Captain.
Prepare to receive Commander Dai and Mr. Durham.
Preparing to receive him.
Energize at your
I'll beam 'em up.
convenience.
I'll beam him up.
All right, Morora, this will be a control engineering difficulty 3.
You do have advanced sensors.
Difficulty 2.
I'm gonna spend one of the momentum just to gain an extra dice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
Gain 3. So you should be at 4.
Yep.
And they are beamed up.
Shall we begin?
We see from your records that you believe that this colony existed for over 100. Is that correct?
That is correct. There is ample materials here that your scanner should be able to show that that is indeed correct. And let alone this room dates back to 2255.
We still believe that this is an elaborate Federation trick. Our sensors indicate that this colony only existed for a few days.
The side effects of the temporal distortion that was in place. It was corrected by the USS Hatfield. All prudent information was given to you.
In the interest of de-escalating this conflict with the Federation, we are prepared to hear your terms of negotiation.
Forgiving you on the acts of violence, the Federation would request that the colony remains here, with the exception of that a embassy would be established here by the Tzenkethi as well as the Federation to ensure that diplomatic situations do not escalate further with the colonists being here. And that both sides, the Tzenkethi would be welcome to establish a colony or a settlement on this planet in a nearby region.
The Tzenkethi coalition has no interest in an embassy on this planet. We demand that the Federation grants the Tzenkethi coalition sole access to the area known as the Badlands,
Unfortunately,
as well as treaty negotiations, providing us opportunities for colonization in areas near the Badlands.
if I'm not mistaken, the Badlands is currently Federation space.
I do not believe so. It's they're located between Cardassians and Kethi space.
I was closer to Bajor.
Do we have the map?
Oh, no, yeah, no, it is. Was there a world there? Is it Alpha?
Trying to find like a. Oh, there it is.
So they're wanting the space around Alpha 411.
Yep. As well as sole access to the Badlands.
Huh.
For what grounds do you wish to have access to the Badlands? The region is known to be hostile to both ships and known to engage. Vessels are known to engage in piracy there.
We seek to secure our borders from all threats in that sector of space.
Are there evidence that your vessels have been targeted near your space because of the Badlands?
We wish to eradicate all pirates operating in and around the Badland, as well as securing the border against Cardassian aggression.
The Cardassians are in no position to engage in aggression, and they are currently a protected state under the last treaty that was signed in 2375, ending the Dominion War.
The Dominion War is exactly why we want to safeguard our space.
The Dominion are no longer a threat.
The Cardassian Union is threat enough.
I assure you the Cardassians don't lack the military capability to be of any threat to you. And in doing so would violate any treaties.
DeGrasse is going to turn to the captain and go, Captain, a quick word.
Excuse me one moment. I'm saying that right.
Close enough.
Commander?
Captain, are we obligated under the terms of the treaty to protect Cardassian space?
Currently, yes. Their military was practically demolished. They have few remaining vessels after the war. It's only
Well,
for a short time
second-
until the reconstruction is complete.
My second question. Can we even give control of the Badlands over? Is that within the rights of the Federation?
It actually is not. But under the Tzenkethi Treaty, they're not allowed to establish borders within the Badlands. Or
Understood.
we would essentially be nullifying a section of the treaty that was signed in 2364.
Well, in that case, we may have to remind the Tzenkethi that we would not be the ones to negotiate with for a political matter on this scale.
Believe we are technically, aren't we, GM?
As a captain of a single ship, it seems like nullifying a treaty between.
Picard was, I think,
I'm sure he was. Well, I'm sure he was empowered by.
Or remember, they sent you here basically to do this.
That was the original mission?
I believe the original mission was just to aid the colony and make sure it's self-efficient and upgraded.
Yeah, but general captains do have the authority to broker treaties.
Okay. So in character, DeGrasse is going to say, I still have a lot to learn about Federation law, so I'll be sure to read up on it when we get back to the Monarch. Thank you, Captain.
Of course, Commander. My apologies, Val L Valea. Valea? No, well, that would be Aya, but whatever. Currently, the Badlands lies in neutral ground, and it's been designated as neutral ground for all parties that are involved, including the Cardassian, the Federation, and even the Bring. Allowing you to gain control of certain sections of the Badlands would invite conflict by other parties besides the Federation.
And how are we to take a colony just popping up on our radar, Captain? From a military standpoint, this colony can be used as a staging ground for attacks into our space. We are merely ensuring a deterrent for that inevitability.
The reason why I am offering an embassy for both the Federation and the Tzenkethi here to ensure that does not happen. Federation does not engage in hostile takeover of other governments. Evidence is in proof within the Dominion War. The new Cardassian government remains control all over their former territories. The Federation did not annex any territories. And the Demilitarized Zone, which was established decades ago, still remains in full force.
We have no desire to interfere or even be involved in Federation politics. We merely wish to secure our border and our security.
I assure you, this colony is not a threat to you.
I have presented the terms for the Tzenkethi coalition to you, Captain. Should our terms be met, we will allow this colony to remain sovereign to the Federation.
What if the colony were to remain independent and not part of the Federation?
We have no desire to interfere with this colony.
If the Federation severs all ties with the colony, would the colony be allowed to remain?
Inasmuch as our demands are also met, the colony will have assurances that it will not be harmed.
And that's excluding the whole Badlands out of character. Like, if the Federation if the colony remains and the Federation withdraws its essentially status that they cannot be involved in this colony any longer, then it shall remain. It's pretty much what Prax is saying is the colony would remain independent on its own, sovereign to itself, and the Federation will not have ties to it.
Yeah, and all they wish is to have sovereign domain over the Badlands.
But Prax doesn't want to give sovereign domain over the Badlands.
I know. That is the invest.
There's no role that I.
Prax, what's that presence command check?
I do.
Yep.
I unfortunately cannot give you control over the area required for the Badlands. However, if you wish to secure your borders along that zone, I would offer instead that the Tzenkethi be allowed to maintain a listening outpost near the Badlands, but would not be along to. In that territory would not belong. It would still remain neutral space. That way, the Tzenkethi coalition can still monitor vessels approaching near their borders.
We counter. We want Alpha 441 to establish a colony and maintain a military presence in the Badlands. Badlands will remain neutral territory except for the colonies we will set in place around Alpha 441.
I cannot allow any military installation be established on Alpha 441. That is in striking distance of 3 nations. And as ferocious as the Badlands are, it would be very easily that Tzenkethi could hide a force to engage in conflict of 3 government bodies.
Give me that presence command check.
All right. Difficulty, or is it opposed?
It will be opposed.
Here you go,
Persuasion.
Prax.
Persuasion for a focus.
I don't think so in this one.
Strategy and tactics, because this is coming from a very strategic conversation.
Sure.
Diffuse the tension count in this.
Yeah, it's starting to get tense.
Bold command. So I'm going to spend my determination here by reason or by force.
For the by reason part, sure.
Okay. Yeah, 4 momentum. So Moriet got 1 free die. Determination spend, so it'd be 5. Take a threat, and I'm going to spend. Actually, take 2 threat. I'm gonna spend 3 momentum. I'm gonna re-roll that 1. Or the 0, sorry. 8 successes.
They have also matched with 8 successes.
Why are you
And I
rolling
will
d6s?
spend- What's that?
You're rolling d6s.
Oh shit. My bad. Yeah, that's much worse.
It's like, there's no way I could beat you with that.
Yeah, sorry, Prax, you're going up against the best negotiator ever. 85.
And I will use a value for her to Alright, you guys gain 3 momentum. To avoid conflict with your Federation, we will allow the colony to remain for now. But should any weapons or military vessels enter orbit, we will eliminate this colony. And they will beam out. If I can find the transporter.
And while Prax had a very stern look, it's just like, oh my god. Kind of relief. Well, Commander, I guess you get the job of giving the good news to the colonists that can remain.
Understood, Captain. I'll proceed to it immediately. And good job with that. That's could have spiraled out very, very quickly.
Indeed. I'll see you back on the ship momentarily once you're done.
Yes, sir.
And Prax to Monarch.
And
Monarch here.
1 to beam up.
Yes, sir.
DeGrasse is going to go tell the administration staff the good news.
Perfect.
Good news and bad news. They still have to remain sovereign, and they're on their own. So whatever supplies we dropped over, that's pretty much it. Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna spin it as pretty good news though.
You want the good or bad news?
Technically, independent doesn't stop independent traders from
exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't stop them making a trade agreement, bilateral trade agreement with the Federation, or the Tzenkethi for that matter. Or to be the recipient of Federation quote-unquote humanitarian aid as far as keeping their medical and scientific technology up to date.
Prax is going to head probably to sickbay first. Big token again.
I am Prax.
Nurse, where's Dr. Blackwell?
He is in the lab, Captain.
Has he had any luck on anything?
Basically whatever's on Memory Alpha for now.
Okay.
Which was not much.
Yeah.
For the cause, it still looks hereditary.
Okay.
Possibly sped up from the chronotons, you would imagine, but you can't be sure. You know, Vulcan physiology and their mental illnesses are a bit eluding.
Come. And as the door opened, Prax sees Blackwell kind of lean back in a chair, pinching the bridge of his nose. Oh, Captain.
Doctor?
Well, you may have been right about the chronoton radiation speeding up the progress of the disease, but I can't be sure. Temporal mechanics was never one of my strong suits.
Well, we did drop off a supply of dilithium for them, so they should be fine. Of course, they'll have to get their components from another third party from now on.
What kind of deal did you work out with the Tzenkethi?
The colony can remain, but they'll have to be sovereign, which means they're on their own. The Federation can't claim nor send a military vessel.
Well, I suppose it's the best that could be hoped for under the circumstances.
Indeed. Your patient, is he awake?
Should be.
I was about to deliver the news to him. And is he prepped and ready for? Could he theoretically be beamed down to in the medical facility down there? Could be take care of him?
Yes, Captain. I don't see any reason why not. The procedure was completely successful, and he's shown no signs of post-operative complications. So.
Right. Very well, thank you, Doctor. If you wish to join me, you're more than welcome to.
I will.
Captain?
Vivev, I have good news. Your colony can remain. However, the Starfleet can no longer offer you aid, as a military vessel can no longer enter orbit above Pollux. But that does not stop you from having traders come to the world and giving you secure supplies from.
This is a small setback, but it is what we are used to. We have been on our own for nearly 120 years. If you could provide us with names of reputable traders so that way we may continue the progress we have made.
I believe there are several traders in there we can provide for you. Just beware of individuals known as Ferengi. They are not.
And the Federation does have several programs that would allow you to maintain and keep your medical and scientific capabilities up to date without involving Starfleet in any particular way. The Federation would be, of course, civilian organizations, including the Interspecies Medical Exchange, your people could get training, and other Federation trained physicians could serve time on your worlds. So there's no reason that you can't quite easily and legally within the terms of the treaty keep your colony up to date.
It is good to see institutions still exist that were around in, I guess it would be our time.
Yes, there's several also free trade organizations that still exist that you'll be able to get the supplies that you need. The treaty did not say that I had to take down the supplies that I delivered earlier, so those are yours to keep, including all the upgrades to the equipment that you already were getting, as well as the supply of dilithium.
That is good to hear, Captain. I wish to thank you on behalf of our colony for all the work you have done.
It's my pleasure, Vamev.
You and your crew are to be commended.
The doctor told me you are safe to transport down to your medical facility. Unfortunately, we do have to, under the treaty, we have to depart the system right away.
I understand.
Mev, good luck. And she kind of sticks her hand up, does the Vulcan salute. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
And Blackwell tries to do it, but his hand just doesn't really work that way, and he finally just kind of shrugs and says, "Good luck."
Something I have learned from living among humans for a long time, Doctor. And he holds out his hand for us.
I kind of grin and give him a good handshake.
And you could see a small smile on his face. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Well, here's hoping you never need my services again.
And he'll nod and he will make for the...
Yeah, I'll escort him to the transport. Give him the relative prescriptions and whatever, download that to the medical facilities on the surface.
Cool. Anything else anybody would like to do?
As soon as Vamev is beamed down and the away team is back on board, I mean, that's kind of it for the mission.
Yay, everybody's back on the bridge.
Woo!
Nobody died.
Yet.
I believe Dalmar has a interesting report. Unfortunately, he will not be able to complete it.
Probably won't be the first.
Operations notify Starfleet Command, have them send a updated version of the Treaty of 2364.
I kept.
Helm, set course for Starbase 621.
And I was AFK for a bit there. What did the Tzenkethi get in return?
Nothing.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Course laid in, Captain.
Engage.
And that will be the official end of the checkpoint.
Ba, da, 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 da.